We'll take a look at the sorceress or sorcerer. The sorceress or sorcerer are intelligence-based caster classes. They're perfect for players that enjoy controlling the battlefield and that like to deal elemental damage. The enchantment system allows players to enjoy the effective skills even while they're not directly using them, providing a lot of gameplay variety. The main play styles for the sorcerer or sorceress are Paimon, focusing on Pyra skills for low health but high regen and burst EPS damage that pairs up with AoE's freeze and control. Focus on controlling the battlefield by freezing and slowing enemies. And finally, Master of the Elements, players that enjoy inflicting different types of status ailments and combining them together and using plenty of barriers will become essentially immortal. The pros of this class are battlefield control skills that provide many options without requiring aspects, different types of elemental damage, high damage and guided gameplay. Element. The cons are limited equipment space, limiting the amount of aspects you can use, low health, depending on skills or barriers to stay alive. Next we come to the Necromancer. Players that enjoy having summons and minions will be more inclined to play this class. They have a unique corpse mechanic that is kind of mandatory to use. So players will often need to manage multiple resources at the same time, being essence, corpses, minions, health, etc. And they can also generate blood orbs which act as a digital resource. Players that enjoy tactical gameplay will enjoy this playstyle as minions will deal with the front lines, allowing the Necromancer to plan and control. The Necromancer's unique mechanic is the Book of the Dead, which allows you to personalize each minion type to fit your current build. The main play styles available to the Necromancer are solo overpower burst damage. This build sacrifices your minions for increased health and damage. Corpse explosion. This build generates as many corpses as possible and explodes them to deal either static damage or damage over time. Summoner. This build focuses around your minions and increasing their damage by debuff enemies and inserting aspects that increase their power. And lastly, MDPS. This can either be a solo player or a hybrid between minions and spells, using the minions as a shield. Use bone spells that focus around critical damage to quickly destroy elites and bosses. The pros of this class are that it's a very safe play style. The cons are that it can get overwhelming to manage all resources and mechanics. Droids are nature moss that can summon companions, shape, shift and command the elements to destroy their foes. D in particular have exceptional AoE damage but lack a little bit of single target damage that can make them difficult to play against. Facing one powerful enemy like a boss, particularly in the early goings of the game. Spirit boons are the unique mechanic of the druid, allowing them to bond to different spirits in the game, providing them with unique passive bonuses that sometimes can change a build entirely. Tinkering with these spirit boons and adjusting them depending on what build you're playing is a huge part of playing the droid build. Play styles available to the druid are werewolf, which allows them to shift into a very powerful werewolf that focuses on dealing critical damage and dealing damage over time with poisons. Wee bear, which is another mainly focused build that has a huge focus on overpower, dealing incredible burst damage but doesn't have sustained DPS. Then there's using nature magic between earth, lightning and physical damage spells. And then lastly is a hybrid style of play where you mix and match spell casting with shape shifting in the terms of werewolf or wee bear with some storm or nature skills. The pros of this class are that they can summon companions. They are rather tanky compared to some other classes. The cons are that they can start out extremely slow. Some of the play styles available to the druid are extremely legendary aspect dependent. Barbarians are a strength-based male class. They are perfect for people who like to fight up close and feel the power of their skills on the enemies. Barbarians have very high health and they also provide access to the fortified mechanic, which relies on the amount of health you have versus the amount of damage you have taken. Place styles of barbarians are whirlwind barbarian, and this allows you to quickly maneuver the battlefield to defeat big packs of enemies. Since this highly relies on your equipment, you'll get a feeling of constant improvement while you get stronger and stronger bleeding skills. This allows you to apply massive damage over time on enemies, allowing you to simply strike and run. This playstyle revolves around combining different skills and aspects to create powerful one-shot combos. The support playstyle, while not frequent for ARPGs shouts, allow barbarians to greatly boost companion abilities as well as taunting enemies and tanking them. The pros of this build are that it fights up close. It has the arsenal system which allows you to swap between many different weapons, allowing you to theory craft equipment, and has access to more weapon slots. The cons are that it doesn't have ranged attacks. It has a rather slow start and requires a considerable amount of character planning. Next is the Rogue. The Rogue is a versatile dexterity and critical class. It's a very mobile character. It crowd controls enemies and debuffs them, as well as performing AoE and single target damage. Players that like constantly smashing buttons. While similar mechanics, rogues have a very wide range of builds, but most of them are specific and require min-maxing, which negates the possibility to play around with them. Rogue has a somewhat higher skill cap compared to other classes over players that enjoy chilling. Combo points, which enhances your main skills, inner sight, which forces you to attack specific enemies to build up a bar. And once that bar is full, you'll have a grace period to enjoy unlimited energy and preparation, which reduces your ultimate cooldowns and resets other cooldowns while using ultimates. Shadow Imbue, which imbues your attacks with a debuff that causes explosions, dealing a ton of damage. Players that like setting up a combo and exploding it at the right time to kill everything in a single strike will enjoy this play. Poison, and deals very high damage in the form of poison. Quickly dealing damage over time, good against groups of enemies and even better against bosses. You can make burst EPS damage on single targets. Take advantage of debuffs and passives.